Let's make this same day sourdough loaf, Valentine's Day inspired. So let's get straight into the video. We're going to make a double chocolate sourdough loaf with strawberry, chocolate chip, and cream cheese inclusions. So we're going to start off by adding 50 grams of cocoa powder with 100 grams of warm filtered water. We're going to mix these two ingredients together until the cocoa powder is dissolved. And once the cocoa powder is dissolved, we're going to let it sit for a couple minutes just so it can bloom a little bit. And then we're going to add our sourdough starter. We're going to add 150 grams of sourdough starter, and we're going to add 300 grams of warm water to speed up the process. And we're going to mix these two together very well until there are no big chunks of starter left. And then we add 50 grams of granulated sugar. You can add brown sugar, whichever you prefer. And then we're going to mix again. And then we're going to add 500 grams of bread flour or all-purpose flour. And then we're going to add 10 grams of salt. And we're going to mix everything together once again. And as always, the ingredients will always be in the description down below, as well as the temperature and the time of baking. So after we're done mixing all of the ingredients together, we are going to wait 1 hour before we start on our first set of stretch and folds. I don't record all the stretch and folds for this video, but you guys get the point. So we're just gonna wait 1 hour, and then we're gonna do our first stretch and fold. And we are going to start adding our inclusions on the first set. So we're going to cover this bowl and let it rest for an hour. And now we get our chocolate chips. I like milk chocolate chips, but you can add whichever one you'd like. I added these cream cheese chips because my daughter thought it would go great with these inclusions. And then I added freeze-dried strawberries. So I add a little bit of everything, and then I do one stretch as best as I can, and then I add more inclusions again and fold the dough again. So I do this 4 times going around the bowl for our first set. And then this will help all the inclusions be better distributed into the dough once we bake it. So go ahead and do that, and then when we're done adding all of the inclusions and doing the 4 stretches, we're going to cover our bowl again, and we're going to let the dough rest for another 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we're going to do our second set of stretch and folds, and then we're going to do our third. You can go ahead and do 4 stretch and folds if you'd like. I just did 3. So this is the second set right here. I didn't record the third set, but you go ahead and do the third and even the fourth if you'd like. So to help the dough bulk ferment even faster, we are going to put this dough into the oven with the oven light on. This helps it bulk ferment even faster. And if you have one of those warming mats, go ahead and use those. And these 2 steps, putting the dough into the oven with the light on and mixing your dough with warm water, is going to help the process of it finishing the same day. So here my dough has doubled in size and it came off the bowl easily. So I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit very gently, and I'm going to add more inclusions in the middle. So I wish the inclusions were like nice and bright on the inside, but the strawberries and the chocolates melted, so I didn't get that chocolate covered strawberry effect that I really wanted. But nonetheless, these 3 inclusions tasted so delicious with the chocolate loaf, and I absolutely love it. So give it a try. You are going to love it. So I'm going to have all the times on the screen for you guys so you can see at what time I mixed the dough, at what time I started the stretch and folds, and at what time I started to shape the dough. So you guys can get an idea of how long this whole process took. So once I put all the inclusions inside this loaf, I gently shape it. and I pinch the sides of the dough to make sure that the inclusions don't come out on the sides and burst out. So I don't shape the dough too much when I add inclusions anymore, because then I don't really have all the inclusions distributed properly sometimes when I add inclusions on this step. So I decided to just roll the dough up and pinch the sides, if that makes sense. So you'll see right here what I'm talking about. So I shaped it real quick, and then I add a little flour to my hands because the dough was getting a little bit sticky because of all the chocolate chips. And I go ahead and pinch the sides. I flour the top of the dough and I put it into a floured banneton. And I cover it with a plastic Ziploc bag, and I put it into the refrigerator for 30 minutes to an hour. I think I did about 30 to 40 minutes. So as the dough sat in the refrigerator, I preheated my oven to 450 degrees with the Dutch oven inside. So once I was ready to bake, I scored my bread and I put it in the oven to bake for 20 minutes with the lid on. And then I lowered the temperature down to 400 degrees and I bake it for another 30 to 35 minutes with the lid off. So with any recipe of sourdough, if you want to bake it the same day, just make sure you feed your starter the night before so it could be ready to be used in the morning. And then you mix your dough, make sure you use warm water and put your dough into the oven. The oven has to be off, but just leave the light on, or you could use a warming mat so your dough can bulk ferment faster. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. It's perfect for Valentine's Day, perfect to serve your loved one a little slice for breakfast to get the morning started. So thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in my next video. By the way, look at those little chunks of strawberry and the cream cheese chips and the chocolate chips. They look so delicious, and they were.